Okay, this person debated. Now, this is another person who I can only take so much of her voice.
Hominin fossil record and whether it supports human evolution or not. I do a lot of the debunking kind of shenanigans here on this channel.
Okay, Trans Millhouse. Oof.
And also, if that's something that you like, please consider subscribing. I wanted to repost the debate on its own because the original live stream on my end is in like 480p, and it was one of my first times.
Shut up.
Jerry, he said it was okay that I call him Jerry, so we'll go with Jerry.
Shut your mouth.
On the hominin fossil record, right? So my formal education was I got a BSA in...
No one cares.
Hominins do not belong to the same created kind. All true species / specimens fall into discrete groups which are not related.
What's up, Vagine? Yo, how you doing, Gur?
Left-wing / right-wing politics is exhausting and draining. I'd rather talk about the weather and traffic alone.
Yeah.
Usually a full ape or fully human dichotomy.
You can see that. Can you still see me?
I can see you. Have you tried to click the full?
The hominin fossil record demonstrably supports human evolution. What do you mean? It doesn't demonstrate it. No. What kind of word is that, Erica, or whatever your name is? It doesn't demonstrate it. Demonstrably supports. Look at the thick block letters on that. Demonstrably.
Full screen on the slideshow itself.
Yeah, let's go into your fossils. Let's see what happens.
Is that what you're?
Yes, it should be full screen on the slideshow, and they should see me over on.
If I hear NPR cadence, that's exactly what it is. It's like, so we wanted to go into Brooklyn and see what the underlying hues of racism were and where they came from.
The side, I believe.
We can see you. We can see the slides, but it's not
Relative, which is the chimps and the bonobos, as I said previously. And this group is going to include apes in the genera like Ardipithecus, Australopithecus, Paranthropus, Homo, and many more. And if you don't know what any of those are, don't worry, because I'm going to tell you. So...
oh, here it comes. My favorite, y'all. The skull puzzle. They always use this, the skull puzzle. So, by the way, they're like, evolution posits that there's several, not just one, but several previous civilizations of human-like, but not exactly human, humans. That aren't humans, but they're also related to humans. And we came from those things, but we're not those things. And so they find these skulls, right? These singular instances where it fits their little narrative. It fits their little comic book. And they put up the skulls in succession and make a chronological story out of the skulls. And then watch. She's going to tell you a story. It's like a children's story.
I'm going to pull a line from Ken Ham here, the classic. Actually, this goes all the way back to George McCready Price. We're working with the same data here, right? The hominin fossils exist whether we
Chick sounds like a squeaky balloon.
like it or not. And we've got these opposing hypotheses that Donnie sort of outlined at the beginning. So how are we going to interpret them? How would conventional science interpret these hominin fossils as opposed to creationism, or in particular, young Earth creationism? So evolutionary theory would say that humans descend from more basal or more primitive apes. The hypothesis most specifically would be fossil hominins are all close human relatives. Humans are thus apes, which have acquired our human-specific characteristics as we evolved from more basal or primitive apes over geologic time. Basically...
Descend? We descend? Okay, yeah, but that's not even a theory. Evolutionary theory, that's like... This is why I'm so rigorous with the theory part. It's like, how can a theory be a description of something you didn't observe? Like, how could the theory itself be a narrative about something? Like, I could just as well say, I have a theory that God created the world. I don't have to observe it. That's my theory. It fits a story. I like the story. It seems like a good story. I like it. This theory... You notice how they always force you into a bracket of this one category where the association, visual association, phenotypical, anatomical association is supportive of their theory, right? That George Floyd is an ape, right? All crime is ape on ape crime. And so from this view, they have a problem once you go, okay, wait, why did you start from humans descend from primitive apes? Why did you start there, Erica Gutsick Gibbon? Why aren't you talking about before that? Why is it always, okay, let's stick within the apes and the humans. That's good. Well, no, because your theory actually says humans descend from non-basal primitive apes. They don't like this. They don't like when you do this. Because that's what they actually have to believe. That if humans descend from more basal primitive apes, then apes, more basal primitive apes, descend from what? From what? Something not, eventually something not that, right? So they lead with similarity. And once you catch them on, well, they also hold dissimilarity, then leading with similarity is meaningless because the view itself eventually leads to dissimilarity. And you then have to argue further back in time that these basal primitive apes that you think we descended from, they descended from something eventually non-primitive ape, totally not ape, right? And then they get all confused. And then they start, oh, what are you saying? What are you saying? Are you saying, no, you're saying it. You're saying it.
We should see transitional species, right? And this makes 3 very specific predictions. The first one is that humans will have the morphologic or physical characteristics of apes, and that we will also have the physical characteristics of successively higher groups, or successive.
Higher? What does higher mean? What the heck does higher mean? There's no such thing as higher under evolutionary view.
Excuse me.
There's no such thing as successful even. No such thing as successful.
Higher groups. So things like we'll have the characteristics of not just apes, but also of anthropoid primates and primates generally, and mammals and chordates and so on and so forth. Will also be, prediction 2 or prediction B, genetically most similar to the other apes, to the other hominoids, right? And critically, they should also be most similar to us. Right?
See, this is so stupid. Like I said, if you bring them out of their recent time frame, which they rely on, to posit deep time frames of evolution, the real claim is about deep time, not about recent time. And so they always stick to recent time and they go, look, similar things, genetic and phenotypical and genotypical things. They're similar. Yay, we won. And then you're like, so for the most part of time, under their view of time, the most amount of time, the relatives of humans were not human-like at all. They're not similar at all. At best, they have some, from their view, some similarities in genetics, 0 similarities in phenotype and anatomy. They don't like to talk about this. They like to stick right in this page. Let's keep the ape-looking face on. Let's bring a picture of Patrick Ewing. We'll throw a little bagels up there, too. We'll show some whiteys, and we'll go, hey, look, this is all the same thing.
Right, so it should go both directions. And finally, what we're going to be talking about today, which is the fossil record should demonstrably show the slow emergence of human characteristics from more primitive Miocene apes across geologic time. Now, predictions 1 and 2 are already true, right? And Jerry and I can go through this if we'd like, but humans do have all of the physical characteristics of apes.
Planes and cars are directly related to the same European engineers. Correct. What?
We have all of the physical...
Gravewalkers, are you an Evo proponent, by the way? Just wondering.
Physical characteristics of primates, all the physical characteristics of mammals, right? That's just where we nest.
Sounds like Ralph from The Simpsons. I said, ha-ha! We evolved from a monkey and a banana. When a monkey eats a banana, he's eating his cousin.
That's just the reality of it. We've known this since Linnaeus invented taxonomy in the 1700s.
Wife material. Oh, Big Boss, that's hilarious.
We're also most genetically similar.
At least you're only hearing her voice. Do you guys want to see her too, or?
Similar though to other apes. We share
Honestly, I should bring her on, and so you guys have to pay to not see her.
98.8% of our coding DNA with chimpanzees.
When is the debate with the 10 atheists? Not sure. Breakfast Tacos is trying to wrangle all of them.
Our closest living relatives, and slightly less than that when we're looking at the entire genome. And this holds with the most recent data, right? So just 2 weeks ago, right, we got the complete sequencing of the ape genomes. This is almost telomere to telomere, and it reflects the same old phylogeny that we've been talking about since the dawn of these kinds of genetic studies back in like 2002. So humans and chimpanzees are one another's closest living relatives. We call them our closest.
And so we're similar. So we have similar features and similar functions and similar genetic code. So therefore, we came from each other. That's the claim.
Living relatives, and they call us their closest living relatives too. Chimps share more genomically with humans than they do with gorillas, right? So the chimps and the bonobos. But number 3, or C here, we have to investigate tonight. We're going to investigate here the fossil record. So to support human evolution,
the atheist taco sphere must be stopped. It's really bad over there, murder media. They get away with a lot. Why? Well, they have people like J.L. Warren, who basically is like a loud filibustering bully type, who even bullies Taco. He basically dominates Taco, right? And so, and then they'll get theists who don't argue well. You'll get the PMARs over there. So, but you're right. Yeah, that whole sphere they need help. And honestly, I even talked to Tacos before, even on the phone. And I try to like help him out. It's his culture that sucks, though. He's working on it though. But the culture sucks because of the people. Justin Henley, $5. The fossil bone stuff is cool and all, JB. What's their evidence dinosaurs didn't have human-like minds? They couldn't tell you that.
Evolution, the hominin fossil record absolutely must display the emergence of the human suite of characteristics over 7 million years of geologic time.
7 million years. Okay, more time you have no access to. Okay, just sweeping things that happen over time. Time did it. How do you know this happened? Well, because it had to have happened. Because look, we're looking at it, and it's had to have happened. Well, how did it happen? This is why evolution proponents, including Gutsick Gibbon, the best way to argue against an evotard is to get into the granular mechanism of what they're claiming is happening. Something as simple as the liver being specialized and functional toward a goal, developing from accidental random processes. They have to reconcile this. Don't let them tell the stories with the pictures of the chimps and convince you're a monkey. And then they get all pious and they start virtue signaling when you call another human being an ape. Don't let them do that. Have them mechanistically describe how something develops from random mutation.
From these Miocene apes that are generic, they're not chimps, right? Akembo and Pyrrholopithecus pictured here aren't chimps, but they do share a lot of similarities with modern apes. So we'll put our Miocene apes as our stand-in and switch back and forth a bit.
Gutsick Gibbon, what does she have, IBS? Well, I mean, you take a look at her. You can take a look at her on your own time.
Between that and chimps. And 7 million years comes from the molecular clock. So we need to see humans emerge from basal ape.
Gravewalker says, fake Christians are best known for pride, that I need your teachings and approval for Jesus to take away your sins. So you're sinless, Gravewalkers? Or is that what you're saying? You're sinless? I mean, I don't know who's teaching you that you're sinless now. If Christ took away your sins, that means you're sinless. You can't sin, right? So I don't know who's teaching. You learned that from someone who's a teacher, that's for sure.
For 7 million years. Let's see what we see.
Let's see it. Yo, hey, did you hear what she said? Over 7 million years, let's see what we see. Okay. What did you see?
But in order to chart this emergence, we have to actually know how humans differ from other apes. So I'm going to walk you through those characteristics that we're going to be looking for as we look through the fossil record very quickly.
So what we're going to do is we're going to presuppose that things change, and we're going to look for things, itemize things to support that things change. And when we say, how do you verify that it's not just a similar thing, but that it changed? And they go, because we found the thing that's similar. That's evolution in a nutshell right there. That's all it is. Gravewalker says, I am sinless. Oh, so you don't sin anymore. You don't sin anymore? So is it impossible for you to sin? Your lack of faith. We're not talking about me, Gravewalkers. And also, you're now assuming knowledge about my faith or someone else's faith, which could be arguably a judgment. So, my Jesus can take away sin. Yours can't. What? Would you like to call in and defend this? I mean, it's almost as bad as a take his evolution. Yeah, Kevin says, yeah, you can cast the first stone. Yeah, so apparently you can cast the first stone. Are you sinless? Yeah. Your lack of faith immediately comes back with a judgment, dude. It's crazy. Anymore is all your peculiar use of all caps is interesting. You asked now, am I sinless now? Yeah, are you? No, can you sin? I said, can you sin, Gravewalkers? Can you use your own will right now, Gravewalkers, to sin right now? Can you use your own will? Can you sin? Yes or no?
Now, the first is large brains, right? So I made this in R. This is just a look at the brain case size of 6 different hominoid genera. So we're looking at humans, gorillas, orangutans, chimps and bonobos, siamangs, and
brain size? Okay.
Regular old.
Look, this is interesting because they take these categories and then they take particulars in the categories, but they assume that their relatedness in the categories and then look at similarities or growth or the transition, in their view, the transition of smaller brains to bigger brains. But this is the problem, because they're assuming the transition and then looking at the brains. If you were to just look at brains, you could just look at different brain sizes. There's other animals with similar or larger brains than humans, right? So obviously brain size is a particular. It wouldn't matter brain size because you have to first assume transition between these species to make sense of this. They just assume it. That's what they do. Gravewalkers, my peculiar use of all caps is not peculiar. U.S. smart people learn, blah, 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 blah. Would you like to call in and get your theology wrecked, Gravewalkers? Because you're a little bit mouthy in the chat.
Gibbons, and what you can obviously see here is humans have huge brains.
I would like an answer to my question, Gravewalkers. Are you capable of sinning with your own will today? Can you sin? Obviously, I could knowingly do evil in the future. I could ask to be forgiven again. Oh, so you aren't sinless. So if you can sin, you've just debunked yourself. You don't even need to call in.
And other apes don't. Even for their body size, right? Like humans still shine when it comes to brain case size with about an 800 C.
Tell me, can you sin? Can you have involuntary and involuntary actions and thoughts that reflect the nature, the fallen world that we're in, that you're still subject to those things?
cc difference. Humans have an average of about 1,300 cc's. The biggest ape is going to be gorillas, and they're not getting past.
You're sinless right now? Okay, how do you know you're sinless right now? Like, for instance, our children might not know that they're doing something wrong, and we teach them. It might change the level of judgment or penance or whatever, but it doesn't negate the fact that they can sin. You can sin without knowledge of it. So pride is a sin. You certainly are exhibiting pride. You think you already know, right? You have full knowledge of all of your thoughts and things you're doing, and you have a declaration that you didn't sin. Well, why would you need Christ then? Like, what if you prayed to God to reveal to you where you're sinning and you don't know? You know what I mean? What if you needed help and clarity because you thought, well, I'm under the impression that I'm sinless right now. What if I'm wrong about this? Like, you know what I mean? Like Gravewalkers, how would you know whether or not you're right or wrong about that? How would you know? It sounds like you're the arbiter. Base biker $5. Her voice gave me I can't even do it, honestly.